Hey, what's up YouTube? Today I'm going to be bringing you a deck profile of the main character of the Yu-Gi-Oh series, Yugi Muto. It's a deck that I've been putting together over the past few weeks and trying to make it as accurate as possible. And I think my version of the deck is closest to his Battle City Finals deck, but I did combine cards from several different arcs and I tried to make it so you could side out some things and, change the style of play. Alright, let's start with the monsters. Dark Magician and Dark Magician Girl. The Dark Magician's been in his deck since his grandfather gave it to him. It's a pretty iconic monster. And Dark Magician Girl was in Battle City and throughout. Those two are just absolutely necessary. The Magnet Warriors. Alpha, Beta, Gamma, and then Valkyrion. These cards have been in his deck since Battle City as well. And kept him in the Waking the Dragons arc. He's been using them throughout the show, and I think the first monster he summoned in Battle City was one of those, probably Beta, but I know they're an iconic part of his deck. So next we have the Poker Knights, Queen's Knight, King's Knight, and Jack's Knight. These cards, I believe, were introduced during the actual Battle City Finals, and Yugi's used them ever since just because of the God cards to make easier, tributes for a tribute summon. And I know that Jack's Knight's a tribute monster, but it's just in there for the flavor for the most part. Next we have Gazelle, Baphomet. Gazelle's been in there since Duelist Kingdom, I believe, and Baphomet and the Fusion Chimera were introduced in Battle City, but he's used those consistently. He's even used them in the Ceremonial Duel, so they have to be there. And next we have Beast of Gilfer. This was in Battle City and all the way up to the Ceremonial Duel as well. And it's actually Archfiend of Gilfer, but he calls it Beast of Gilfer. So for character deck purposes, you have to call it Beast of Gilfer. Okay. Next are the two Puffballs, Wadapon and Kribo. Kribo is absolutely a classic. You have to play it. Wadapon, he used in the movie, and I know he used after Battle City as well. He may have even played it in Battle City, but I thought it was necessary, and there are a lot of spell cards in the deck that will let you special summon it, so it does help out some of the tributes. My warrior lineup, I play Obnoxious Celtic Guard, Buster Blader, and Big Shield Gardner. The Obnoxious Celtic Guard was in the movie against Kaiba, but I think he played it in the KC Grand Championship. Buster Blader's been there since Battle City, and it's part of the fusion with Dark Paladin. And Big Shield Gardner, Yugi's played ever since he got it. I don't think it's ever been taken out of his deck. Right. Next, I also play one Mystical Elf and one Giant Soldier of Stone. These two cards have been in and out of his deck as well for a long time, but they were even there during Duelist Kingdom, so I felt that they had to be included. And they work very well as walls in the deck, and they help you with your tribute summons, so I thought they were good choices. And lastly, we have Old Vindictive Magician. And this card is a card that he played. I know he played in the KC Grand Championship. He may have played it in Waking the Dragons as well, but I think it's one of the more competitive defensive monsters that he has. So that is all for the monster lineup. It's 20 monsters. I tried to do 20 and 20 to make it as balanced as possible. That's how he would play it. Alright, on to the spells. Pot of Greed, Graceful Charity, and Monster Reborn. Every player use these, or at least use Pot of Greed, Monster Reborn, just because they help move things along, and in this deck they're really crucial, and they're broke, that's why they're banned. So, Card Destruction and Exchange, both cards that manipulate the hand, and Yugi played both of them. Card Destruction is very vital. Exchange is just a really cool classic Yugi card. We have Swords of Revealing Light, which is another card that Yugi's played since Duelist Kingdom. Excellent stall card, still good. Monster Recovery. This is a card that he played in Duelist Kingdom, and he may have activated it again later on as well, at least once. I like it because it helps reset the hand and gives you more options. I think it's good in the deck. Fiend Sanctuary, an iconic spell card that was given to him by Seto Kaiba. He only played it once, so the one duel, I believe, is the only time it gets merit where he played it, but I think it has to be included just because of your tribute count, and it's a really good card. Brain Control, Premature Burial, Soul Taker. These all have different roles. Brain Control lets you take a monster to tribute. Soul Taker lets you outright take out a monster, and then Premature Burial, obviously to help a tribute summon. So, and then Double Spell. Probably my favorite card in the deck just for the artwork and the effect. Take your opponent's Dark Hole or Monster Reborn Pot of Greed from the graveyard, because this deck's mostly going to be played in character deck duels. It's not very competitive otherwise, but it's very fun to maintain. Diffusion Wave Motion. It was only used once against Kaiba, whenever he used Dark Paladin to take out... No. He did play this card. In Waking the Dragons, he dueled against the very first duel he activated this with Dark Magician Girl. So, it only has 2 targets in this deck though, which is Dark Magician and Dark Paladin. And last is Polymerization, the Yugi artwork from the Duelist pack. And that's all for the spell cards. Next we have the trap lineup. Magical Hats, he's been playing this as Duelist Kingdom. Very good in the deck, helps you stall, gives you some defense. Also for defense, Magic Cylinder, Mirror Force. He's been playing these cards throughout the entire series and they're still good. Spellbinding Circle, this card has been played since Duelist Kingdom. It's one of his most accessible trap cards, you have to include it. This is also one of my favorite cards in the deck, Soul Rope. Soul Rope is good because there are a lot of combo cards in Yugi's deck where you need to get 3 Magnet Warriors, or you need to get one of the Knights, so I include it. And it also helps you set up for Tribute Summon. And lastly is Regulation of Tribe. I know he only played this in the Battle City Finals in the Tower, but I think it's a really good trap card. So that is the entire main deck. For the extra deck, all you really need is Chimera, Arcana Knight Joker, and Dark Paladin. And those 3 cards are, the fusions that he would play. That's really all you need. And I do have a side deck. The side deck, I included cards that were, other cards you could replace in the deck. Summon Skull. He's been playing it since Duelist Kingdom. It's always been one of his most iconic cards. Catapult Turtle. This is included just because it's such a big, important card for Waking the Dragons. Curse of Dragon. I didn't include Gaia. I think Gaia's retired. I don't think he's good. But Curse of Dragon's 1 tribute. It's been in his deck several times, even after Duelist Kingdom. So, Breaker. He used this once against Weevil Underwood, and it's one of his best level 4 monsters. So, it just makes the deck a little bit more competitive. Skilled Dark Magician. I don't really like it for Yugi. I don't think it's a very Yugi-ish card, but he did play it once in the KC Grand Championship, which is a filler arc. And yeah, that's all I can really say about Skill Dark. I don't really like it in his deck, but it's there. And Slifer, just because it's Yugi's God card. So that's the monsters. Next we have the Magician's support cards. Sage's Stone. That's not it. Magical Dimension, Mage Power, 1,000 Knives, Dark Magic Curtain. These cards are all for spellcasters or Dark Magician. You can side these in and make it more magician based. It's the later arcs is when he started dueling with that style, so it's pretty good. And one other spell card that I wanted to include was Union Attack, and I included it because I like it. It's a card that he used in the first duel of Waking the Dragons to take out Obelisk. So really with my version of the deck, you can play it like the Battle City Finals or like one of the later arcs. I've got a lot of variety in it. And the traps, just 3. Rope of Life, Dust Tornado, and Light Force Sword. Dust Tornado really needs no explanation. He did play it and it's spell and trap removal. Light Force Sword, he used it to stall Kaiba in their Battle City Finals duel. And Rope of Life, more tribute fodder. So that is the main deck, extra deck, and side deck for my Yugi Muto character deck. And please make recommendations if you think there's something I missed from Yugi's deck. I know that he played a ton of cards. I just tried to choose the best and most accessible ones. And yeah, if you have any suggestions, comment below. Like if you enjoyed it, subscribe, and if you would like to see another character deck, leave it in a comment. Maybe I'll make Kaiba next. Alright, sign.